Let's max out RDR2 with the best mods out there, and that means better graphics, upscaled textures, improved physics, a lot of quality of life tweaks, new activities, and even a map expansion. I'll start with the most obvious part, visual redemption. This mod basically overhauls the entire game's weather system. There are better shadows across all conditions, toned down heat haze, fixed bloom distance on lights, improved water reflections, proper moon positioning, and a bunch of other small tweaks to make the game look way more consistent. Now let's improve the grass, cause it's literally the thing we're surrounded by most of the time. First mod we need is extreme grass. It massively boosts grass density and all the little plants around you. And when you pair it with increased geometry level of detail, you get not just denser grass, but a much higher render distance for props, NPCs, and smaller vegetation. Texture-wise, Red Dead 2 still holds up, until you start looking closely. A lot of the ground textures really show the game's age, and that's where Terrain Textures Overhaul comes in. It replaces a huge amount of terrain textures with higher fidelity versions that stay close to the vanilla style. It doesn't cover the entire map, but it improves so many areas that you'll notice the upgrade pretty much everywhere you go. But we're not done with the upscales yet. Garbage Man made an upscaled items hub with a huge amount of improved textures for so many objects that it'd be hard to list them all. But there's food, cigars, saddles, and the list just keeps going. And if you want everything in one download, he also made an upscaled all-in-one mega pack that's over 30 gigabytes. Definitely worth checking out if you notice small details during gameplay, and those low-res textures in vanilla started getting annoying. And you know what else is annoying? How games, including anything from Rockstar, are all over the place. There's GTA 5 Legacy and Enhanced on Rockstar Launcher, Steam, Epic, PS5, Xbox, and all your achievements and playtime end up scattered across different platforms. And that's why I teamed up with Playtracker. Playtracker basically fixes that mess. You connect your accounts, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you use, and it automatically combines your entire game library and all your achievements into one profile. No more 5 different versions of your progress. You can also see what your friends are playing across platforms, check their achievements, and even compete with them on leaderboards. They've also got something called Quest, where unlocking achievements on any platform counts toward challenges, and you can actually earn rewards for doing it, including a free game every season. You just play normally, and your profile levels up. There's also the Insights section that shows game stats, trends, active players. And now I have my official Inter-Guild on Playtracker. So after you register, connect your accounts, and join the guild, you can earn points simply by playing the games I select. As you progress, you unlock guild-exclusive rewards, including 4K cinematic wallpaper screenshots I made from this modded RDR2. So if you want to unify all your progress, earn rewards by playing games you already enjoy, and join my official guild, check out Playtracker. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Now, as you might know, RDR2 really struggles when you start stacking heavy texture mods. The game engine just isn't built for it. NPCs stop spawning properly, wildlife disappears, and even trains fail to load the way they should. Sykes Spawn's fix is currently the best workaround for this. It's not going to make the game unbreakable, but it does let it handle way more than vanilla, reduces stutter, and improves overall performance. I have no idea why Rockstar added a speed limit when crossing bridges, cause it's annoying and it shouldn't be in the game at all. But thankfully, there's speed limit remover. So now you can sprint across bridges, through towns, and even on train tracks without getting slowed down. The next 2 mods are more of a personal preference, but I decided to use them anyway. Remove screen effects and no kill cam filter. I'm not a fan of the heavy filters that play during kill cams or when you die, so with these 2 installed, you get clean cinematics without any of that extra stuff on the screen. And back to texture upgrades. There's Character Textures Overhaul. It improves character faces and clothing with fully handmade textures, and I'm not gonna lie, they look perfect. This isn't some random 4K upscale. Every texture was created from scratch. It took the author a few months to finish, and you can definitely see the difference. And you might have noticed this already, but I also installed Micah's hair fix so he doesn't look like he just stepped out of an electric chair on a rainy day. Next up, let's show some love to the weapons. First is gunmetal rework. The vanilla gunmetals look pretty dull, and this mod fixes that by tweaking the material properties and adjusting the color tones on every gun, including engravings. And when you pair that with weapon texture upscale, you basically get a full weapon remaster. The vanilla models look a bit rough, especially in first person, but with this mod, the textures are upscaled up to 4 times. Everything just looks sharper and way more detailed. Now let's jump back to vegetation for a moment. I'm using 3 great mods here: Beta Douglas Fir, Dense Tall Trees, and Beta Swamp Trees. All of them bring back the pre-release tree variants. The Douglas Firs look a lot fuller. The redwoods finally feel like proper redwoods, and the swamp trees don't look like plastic props anymore. And while we're still on vegetation, there's one more must-have mod, Big Valley Reforestation Project. It transforms the dead forest area in Big Valley into a much richer, denser forest. And don't worry, it doesn't remove all the dead trees, they're still there, which keeps everything realistic. I'm not gonna lie, I can't imagine playing without this mod anymore. Big Valley looks beautiful now. And to go with that, let's improve the Grizzlies West area with dense forests. It's from the same author, and the difference is just as impressive. The whole region becomes massively denser, and honestly, it's another must-have if you care about the map looking alive. But let me stop here for a second because I ran into crashes in the Grizzlies West area, and it turned out the upscaled all-in-one mega pack was the reason. The fix is simple. Install the upscaled snow and ice crash fix from the update files section. I also installed the 2 other fixes for player textures and wagons just to avoid any bugs or crashes. Now let's revamp the sounds with the realistic weapon audio overhaul. It replaces all weapon sounds with more grounded, realistic versions. It's not necessarily better than Rockstar's originals, cause obviously they nailed the sound design, but it's different, so it's a nice refresh if you've heard the vanilla sounds 1,000 times. Next on the list is the holstering animation mod. I don't know if you ever noticed, but when you're on a horse or standing in cover, the holstering animation is pretty inaccurate, like you get that annoying clipping every time you draw a weapon. This mod fixes it by replacing the animations for the right holster and the knife sheath with proper ones, so everything finally looks like it should have from day one. Then there's Ambient abandoned wagons. It adds broken and abandoned wagons across the world, most of them containing lootable resources. It fits perfectly because Rockstar already had a few of these in the game, but now you'll see more of them scattered around, which honestly feels way more realistic. Next on the list is penetration, and nope, it's not what you think. This mod lets bullets pass through certain objects with penetration depending on the material, mostly wood. It completely changes how gunfights work because now you actually have to think about what you're hiding behind. Then we've got the animal fur fix. The vanilla animals don't look bad, but there's always room for improvement, and this mod does exactly that. It improves the fur on all fur-bearing animals and removes that jittery look. Strand density is 3 times higher than vanilla, and the height layers are 10 times higher, so the fur finally looks natural. Have you ever been annoyed with how your hat defies physics? No matter how hard you fall, the hat stays glued to your head. With non-sticky hats, that finally changes. Your hat will fall off realistically, whether it's a small stumble or you're tumbling down a mountain, and it's another thing that should have been in the game from day one. Another annoying thing is how Rockstar disabled the persistent dirt decals from the console versions, probably because they realized players didn't want to clean their character every single day in-game, but I do. So I installed persistent and natural dirt. This mod keeps the active dirt effect and also restores the secondary persistent layer. In vanilla, the dirt dries up and your character eventually goes back to a clean state, but with this mod, you stay dirty forever, or until you take a bath or restart the game. Next is a mod called Improvements in Blood. It adds a ton more variations to Blood with 32 handmade animated pools and over 40 splatter variants. All of them are 1K to 4K resolution, which is several times higher than vanilla. And on top of that, most of the blood now stays on the ground for over 20 minutes instead of disappearing in one. The original mod isn't fully optimized, but someone on Reddit made a better compressed version, so I recommend using that one instead. Next on the list is Toast's Restored Pedestrian Pack. It restores cut and beta models and textures for over 100 character outfits, fixes a bunch of vanilla issues, and even brings back entire characters that were removed. So now we've got expanded outfits for butchers, restored teenage minors, nuns around the St. Denis Church, the Valentine barber with a mustache, and a whole lot more.
You get comfy here and we'll get started.
And not every mod has to be huge, and this next one is simple, but really nice. Period-accurate currency. It retextures all the dollar bills to match how they actually looked during the game's time period. And after we commit a robbery with real cash, the chases need an upgrade too, and the best way to do that is with crime and law rebalance and enhancement. The feature list is huge, but here are the most important changes. Minor crimes are disabled, so lawmen won't chase you for small stuff anymore. The wilderness is now completely lawless, so you can do pretty much anything without getting a wanted level. Train robberies are no longer an instant wanted, which makes way more sense. Lawmen are way more skilled, with more health, better AI, and they'll actually bring rifles and shotguns when dispatched. Witnesses, bounty hunters, and gangs are all reworked, so you'll notice differences everywhere during encounters. I'm not a fan of how the vanilla lanterns look, so I grabbed simple bronze lanterns. I don't even know if it's more realistic, I just think it looks better. And while we're on the topic, the annoying thing about lanterns is that they always force you to give up one of your hands. Stash That Lantern fixes that. You can attach the lantern to your satchel and keep both hands free, so you can finally dual wield. And you can also attach the lantern to your horse now. If you feel lonely exploring the huge Red Dead world, here's the Dog Companion mod. All you have to do is find a dog you like and pat it. While you're doing that, a new bond prompt shows up, so when you activate it, the dog joins you. It'll follow you around, you can tell it to sit and wait, and if you go inside a building, it'll wait outside. There are a lot more features than that, so I definitely recommend checking it out. But if a dog isn't what you're looking for, and you'd rather have a human companion, there's Bodyguard Spawner. It gives you a simple menu where you can pick a custom or random bodyguard. They'll hop on their horses and follow you wherever you go, and they'll help you in fights too. Pretty essential if you don't want to explore the map alone. Another interesting mod is Improved Wildlife. It increases the spawn factor for all wildlife, aquatic, flying, and ground animals. Bird spawn range is increased, and the flock and herd behavior is improved, so you'll see more groups moving together. Different species also spawn closer to each other than before. The feeding system is upgraded, so animals search further and longer for food and water, and hunting becomes more challenging because animals detect you much easier now. And sticking with animals, there's Pet Cats. It lets you pet any cat in the game, and it even includes speech lines for the player and vocal sounds for the cat. The animation isn't perfect since it reuses the dog petting one, but honestly, it's still a pretty nice addition.
How about that, fella?
I hate when I try to call my horse and it's out of range, and to fix that, there's unlimited horse whistling distance. Your horse will respond no matter where you are, just like in the first Red Dead Redemption. And while we're on the topic of horses, another annoying thing is how the game automatically holsters your long arm after a few seconds. It makes no sense. If I want the rifle on my back, it should stay there, and if I want to holster it, I'll do it myself. That's exactly what no auto horse holstering does. Your long arm stays on your back unless you manually put it away, which is how it should have been from the start. Now this one is huge, dynamic seasons. It adds each of them, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, all with its own visual palette, temperatures, sunrise and sunset times, weather patterns, and everything you'd expect from an actual seasonal climate. Summer is basically the vanilla game with a slightly higher chance of storms. Autumn is a lot more exciting because you get that orange-yellow color palette, more rain and sleet, and if you pair it with the autumn vegetation mod, it brings custom vegetation, stylized towns with pumpkins, and it just looks perfect. Winter, as you'd expect, covers almost the entire map in snow except New Austin. Temperatures drop, snow and blizzards can hit anywhere at any moment, the color tones shift to grayish, and days are 3 to 4 hours shorter than in summer. And when combined with the definitive snow mod, you get even more. Leafless trees, dried grass, custom winter props in towns, and a lot more. Then there's spring, and compared to summer, the color palette is slightly more yellowish, temperatures are lower, the days are a bit shorter, and not all the snow has melted yet, especially around the mountains. Seasons last about 10 real-time hours, not in-game hours, and they change when you launch the game. You get a notification on startup, and there's a small widget on the extended HUD that shows the current season and how long it'll last. Overall, it's a must-have if you want more immersion. There are a lot of mods that refine the Euphoria system, and I decided to go with authentic Euphoria motions. It changes falling, rolling, bailout animations, and most importantly, gunshot reactions, making everything feel way more brutal. NPCs stumble more, react harder to stomach, leg, and spine shots, and headshots look rough. Sometimes they take a slow step forward before collapsing. It's not made to look super realistic. It's made to be fun, and it delivers. I also combined it with ped damage overhaul, which goes even further. NPCs now stumble if their leg gets hit, fall over while sprinting, squirm on the ground when they're injured, and just behave completely differently when taking damage. Next on my list is buyable properties. After installing it, new house icons show up on the map. When you visit them, you can buy a hotel room straight from the owner so you don't have to rent it anymore. Or, if that's not enough, you can buy the entire house. That's the better option because you can actually customize it later, adding new things to both the interior and exterior. It's a really solid mod, especially if you're sitting on a mountain of cash after the epilogue and don't know what to do with it. But if for some reason you don't have enough money for a house, there's bank robberies. Now you can rob banks in Valentine, Rhodes, and Saint Denis. All you have to do is walk into one of the supported banks and aim your weapon at the teller. He'll lead you straight to the vault. You grab the cash and make your escape. Perfect way to fund the rest of your upgrades.
Come on, lady.
Shit on fire.
But not gonna lie, after a bank robbery, it was annoying that I'd walk out with just 2 revolvers because the game kept removing my loadout. So I installed Keep Weapon Loadout Dismounting. The name says it all. You never have to pick your guns off the horse again. No more losing your rifles every time you get off. And still sticking with weapons, just for fun, I grabbed gun tricks. Press tab twice and your character starts spinning the gun, and you'll see 4 trick options pop up in the bottom right corner. And if you press Control and Tab, you can open the menu and pick exactly which tricks you want available. It's one of those Red Dead Online features that should have been in single player from day one. Another fun little mod is Sing. In vanilla, Arthur can sing only in super specific situations, but with this mod, all you do is hold X for 3 seconds and a sing prompt pops up. And that's it. Arthur sings on command now.
Praise the Miller boys, we did, mate. Knives, guns, and revolvers. We all sat down to play, drinking of good whiskey to pass the time away.
Next up is Combat Roll. It's a simple script that replaces the default combat dive with a proper roll animation that was left unused in the game files. Nothing crazy, but if you prefer rolling instead of diving, it's a clean, lightweight mod that works perfectly. And then there's Shove NPCs. It lets you shove people just like in online. And paired with dynamic shove and throw, NPCs will ragdoll when you push them, basically like in GTA 4. Now the Open All Interiors mod. It simply unlocks all the interior doors that are normally locked in free roam, so you can finally walk into places like Angelo Bronte's mansion, the Mayor's mansion, Shady Belle, Sisika Penitentiary, and a lot more. There are also extra interiors that use markers like the St. Denis Hotel under construction, the Moonshine Bar, a secret room in Strawberry, the Grand Corrigan, and plenty of others. If you like exploring every corner of the map, this one is basically essential. But if you're more of an outsider, there's the Camp Anywhere mod. You're no longer limited to wilderness spots or scripted camp locations. You can drop a camp literally anywhere, even right in the middle of a town. You can choose to place just a campfire, set up a tent, a bedroll, or use the setup camp option that puts down both a tent and a fire at once. And there's also the advanced mode that lets you swap the tent, fire, and bedroll models for different styles. And now, let's add even more RPG into the game with Roleplayer's Dream. This one adds a lot of interactions you'd expect from a proper role-playing experience. You can do farm work, play instruments, smoke, clean your gun, rest in the wilderness or in towns, drink water from lakes, and even hydrate your horse. It's a big upgrade for anyone who likes slower, immersive gameplay. And for even more roleplay, I've got AMJM Transport. This mod is so big I could easily make a whole separate video about it, but here's the short version. You can walk into any general store and buy your own customizable wagon, stagecoach, boat, and even a hot air balloon. And after you pick one and step outside, you can customize it however you want, changing the colors, decals, and custom parts. Then you can actually take jobs with it. For example, a supply delivery driver, where you have to load the cargo, deliver it, and when that's done, get paid. And that's just the start. You can discover gang hideouts, work as a bounty hunter, hire people to work for you, and a whole lot more. Definitely a mod worth checking out. Now let's finally improve the particles. Better late than never, right? There are two essential mods for this: Gun FX and, well, particles. With Gun FX, barrel smoke hangs around longer, muzzle flash and smoke are boosted by about 50%, and interior smoke and air debris from gunfire last up to 10 times longer. Everything just looks way more grounded, and it's a must-have if you play in first person. The Particles mod, on the other hand, increases the amount and quality of particles across the whole game. Campfire smoke and flames are denser. Same with horse gallop dust, grass interaction, explosions, impact debris, chimney smoke. Basically every particle effect you can think of looks way better now. Next up is Automatic Greet Replies, a tiny but super convenient mod that handles greeting responses for you. Doing it manually every time gets annoying fast, and this makes it flow naturally.
Hello there.
All right, y'all.
Hi there.
Ma'am?
Then there's auto-looting, which, as the name says, automatically loots anyone you take down. To add even more immersion, I installed no glowing objects or pickups, so you're not distracted by bright glowing items all over the place. But if you're worried about losing track of your hat after removing the glow, there's So You Lost Your Hat, which places a marker on it so you can always find it again. I'm not sure why Rockstar never fixed this, but have you ever noticed how the corn sack completely ignores physics whenever you move it? Corn sack fix is probably one of the most unnecessary mods on this entire list, but if Rockstar messed it up and there's a fix, why not install it? Now let's revamp the UI a bit with a few mods. First is colored loading. Nothing huge, but if you're tired of staring at the same vanilla loading screens, these colored ones make it feel a bit fresher. To finish the look, I also added colorful weapon icons and a simple, beautiful dark minimap mod. And to make the game actually load faster, there's intro and main menu screens skip. And for quicker navigation, snappy UI, because the vanilla menus were clearly made for consoles and feel painfully slow on PC. Now, you probably think that's it, but nope, I saved the best for last. Welcome to Nuevo Paraíso. It's a massive mod that recreates part of the RDR1 Mexico map and brings it straight into RDR2. I've got the minimap add-on installed too, and as you can see, the new area is huge. It's filled with interiors, NPCs hanging around, and it looks absolutely beautiful, especially with all the graphics upgrades we added earlier. What actually surprised me is that it runs fine even with over 60 mods already installed. It might still be a bit unstable here and there, so keep that in mind. But honestly, if you want the best experience, I'd recommend waiting for the newly announced Nuevo Paraíso: The Forgotten Frontier. It's supposed to be way more polished, and unlike this older version, it will include new small missions, so you'll actually have things to do instead of just exploring. And just like that, we've got the ultimate Red Dead Redemption 2 mod combination, a setup that pushes the game way closer to modern releases, adds tons of quality of life improvements, and gives you way more things to do all over the map. Of course, there are hundreds of amazing mods out there, and I definitely didn't cover everything, so if there's something you think should be in this list, drop it in the comments. I'm always down to test more stuff. The full mod list with links is in the description. And if you want more modded setups, check out how I made GTA 5 closer to 6, and how I completely remastered San Andreas with 90 mods right here. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.